Hi everyone, I wanted to take a bit of time today to talk about one of the more popular lists in the current meta. So we're going to have a bit of a chat on Imperial A-Holes and if you should fly them or not, if they're going to fit your playstyle, and a couple of ideas to take into consideration when flying against them. So I'll pull it up on the screen. Imperial A-Holes list. It's pretty standard. You have Omega Leader, Com Relay and Duke. So FO platform comes in with the awesome dial that FO has at 2 swoop. It's not quite the interceptor dial, but the swoop's good. Still got those green greens all across the 2s, and can go up to 5 forwards. Omega Leader's really annoying ability. Com Relay and Duke synergize really well with that. You establish the evade early and then get your target lock, and Duke's going to kick in and they can't modify that dice back up. In this version, I've gone for Inquisitor instead of Karnor. There is a choice to be made there, but I feel like the Inquisitor can be slightly more offensive. So that is the TIE Advanced Prototype platform. Comes in 31 points. Obviously the green hard ones, green one banks, all the 2s, all the 3s, 4 and 5 forwards, and a 4K. Push the limit, V1 title, and auto thrusters. So it's a really, really offensive piece. You can get in and mix it up, or he can hang back because he's always going to be counting as range 1 for his shooting. So it's a really good option in this list. I prefer to use him on the outskirts of the battle, not to get him in too dirty too quickly, because he can get blocked up and lose a lot of the efficiency. And then Wampa is basically the ship that allowed the Imperial A-Holes list to become a thing. That 14-point filler ship that synergizes really well with Palpatine and allows Omega Leader's lower points level to be exploited. Standard TIE Fighter, PS4, so not really considered an ace, but a good pilot skill bid in the current meta. Obviously, 4 beats out the Jumpmaster's 3s, and again, the ability synergizes really well. Cancelling down a crit result to deal a face down damage card is really good. And then, obviously, in a Palpatine list, you've got the Palpatine platform, the Palpmaobile, Omicron Group pilot, and the Emperor himself. Flying the list, you've got to focus on the fact that you've got a pretty consistent, if low damage output. It doesn't spike unless you get really good shots off with a shuttle. But it's consistent. It'll keep putting out that damage. Wampa can keep getting a crit rolled or either Palpatined in. And Omega Leader's pretty consistent. She can get the 2 hits. She'll probably push at least 1 damage through. And then the Inquisitor's got to do the meat of the work in this list, do a lot of the carrying. But it does lack a punchy damage output, so it can be out-traded in a stand-up fight. But as an Imperial player, you shouldn't actually be looking for a stand-up fight. You've got all of these dirty tricks, so you need to use them. Flying against this list is all about looking at what your list can do, and then your target priority going into that. Do you want to just get rid of Wampa because you've only got low hull point ships behind a lot of shields? If you fly in B-Wings, Corran Horn, Wampa needs to go early. If you fly in a Decimator or a YV 666, Wampa's not really that important. You might want to, if you've got a high spike potential in your damage, just clean out the Omicron group early. One thing you don't want to do is exchange pieces until you're one-on-one versus Omega Leader. if you get the opportunity, Omega Leader should be a target relatively early in the game. Inquisitor is quite predictable once you get into the meat of the game. That herd 1 and 1 bank, although really strong, if you can get in a position to block, you can normally cover both of those options with one ship. So that's a good counter and way to fly against it. And that summarises the list pretty quickly. So I'm trying to keep these should I fly them videos relatively short, trying to get around 5 to 6 minute point. So there you go, Imperial A-Holes. If you want that extra ship, a little bit more versatility, consistent damage output, give it a try. Going against it, just don't fall into a Biggs effect for Wampa. If you like the content, guys, make sure you click the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.